My name is Ethan Sperry, and I am the Barry Stoll Professor of Choral Music at Portland State University, and it is my honor to welcome you to Still We Rise Part 1, the first of two concerts put on by the choirs at Portland State University in the fall of 2020 in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic. Tonight you're going to hear from the Portland State Chamber Choir, a choir of 40 students, and one of the health restrictions we have at PSU is no more than 25 students can gather either indoors or outdoors as a COVID safety precaution. I was really optimistic at the beginning of the quarter that things were going to get better and we would start off in small groups and eventually we would be able to combine into a full choir. But that never happened. You're going to hear just from small groups, each with their own student conductor. Those groups rehearsed almost entirely outside, wearing masks, distanced at various covered locations around the PSU campus. And then every few weeks we had the privilege to rent St. Philip Neri Catholic Church to record the videos you're going to see tonight. I thought we were going to have a few more weeks to record, but because of the recent COVID spike, we stopped singing well before Thanksgiving. So all the pieces you're seeing were recorded in October and November. St. Philip Neri is one of the most beautiful acoustics in the Portland area, but they also massively upgraded their HVAC system to make it safer to be in there during COVID. And so you'll hear that HVAC system running straight throughout all the recordings, and I'm eternally grateful to our engineer, Andrew Kent, who's worked very hard to minimize that so you can hear the voices the best you can. And I'm extremely grateful to our videographer, Mauricio Valgarian, who's been at all of these sort of little mini concerts and has edited together everything you're going to see tonight. We are used to doing acoustic concerts, and having engineers and producers of their skill working with us is a real gift. All the music you're going to hear tonight is composed by non-white composers. I don't think any of you watching it's going to be a surprise to know that we have had protests in the streets here for months in Portland asking for racial justice. This is not something a choral program can provide, but we can at least take a moment to acknowledge that most of the music we hear at classical concerts is written by white people and especially by white men. And when we do hear pieces by Black composers, we're used to hearing spirituals and gospel music. A colleague of mine, Marcus Garrett, who's one of the choir directors at University of Nebraska, and you'll hear some of his music later tonight, wrote his dissertation on what he called non-idiomatic music by Black composers. Black composers who are just writing art music, not arranging pre-existing tunes. That was what we've aimed for tonight. You're going to hear non-idiomatic music, original compositions by composers from a wide variety of ethnic backgrounds. You're going to hear a couple of world premieres. You're even going to hear one piece by Dafin Chibinga, which is the first time his music will be heard anywhere outside of his native country of Zambia. I'm really grateful to all the composers who shared their music with us for this concert. It's been a wonderful journey, and you're going to hear from many of them as the night goes on. I'm also especially grateful to all the students you're going to see who worked so hard to overcome all the adversity of trying to sing during COVID and took the time to commit themselves to their education and to live music. This concert tonight is free, but if you'd like to support us, I ask that you support them. You're going to see a link on your screen now, and hopefully also on the social media platform that you're watching. And if you click that link and make a donation, maybe the price of a concert ticket, maybe more, all of that money will go directly to scholarships to the members of our choirs. So thanks for watching, thanks for supporting us, and I hope you'll tune in again tomorrow for part 2.
Hello everyone, this is Shireen Abu Khadir and I am the choral arranger for Laura Halsoti. Many conductors resonate with Laura Halsoti when they hear it for the first time, and even though they don't understand the text, they're drawn somehow to this beautiful melody. I first heard this piece in 1998, long time, as a Palestinian young musician who was living there. At the time, I was drawn to the melody. It was so simple, yet hauntingly beautiful. And also the text, and specifically that first line, Laura Halsoti. Oh, gorgeous. If my voice departs, yours will not. And because I think as a woman, I struggled in finding my own voice, this song gave me a way to, I guess, amplify it and share it. And I think we all share very similar stories and specifically now in our current climate, where many voices feel silenced and marginalized due to a variety of social reasons and systematic barriers. And while music may not directly impact the social changes, I think it can create a way for us to hear and imagine a different way of being, a possibility. And collectively, we can create actually a new path moving forward. And songs like Laura Halsoti, although very local in its context as I wrote it, I feel that the message is quite universal for many who seek the same things: freedom, justice, hope. I want to thank Ethan Sperry and the Portland State Chamber Choir for taking on Laura Halsoti this season. I am so excited to hear the choir, and I do hope that in singing it, each one can reflect on their own voices and find a way to move forward together collectively and truly create a better space for us and the new generation to come. Thank you again.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Frank, and I'm the composer for Song for Mother Gaia, which you'll be hearing performed tonight by the Portland State University Chamber Choir. I wanted to go ahead and thank Ethan Sperry for having me tonight, as well as the Portland State University Chamber Choir for performing and rehearsing my composition throughout the semester. June Night is a poem that I stumbled upon by Sarah Teasdale. Song for Mother Gaia derives from June Night by Sarah Teasdale. Like most of Sarah Teasdale's poems, this specific poem had some sort of solemnity to it. And immediately upon reading her poetry, three words came to mind: solitude, sincerity, and love. I adapted the poem into the following text. O earth, you are too dear tonight. How can I sleep while all around floats rainy fragrance and the far, deep voice of the ocean that talks to the ground? O earth, you gave me all I have. I love you, I love you. The adapted text, as I mentioned earlier, resulted in this composition, Song for Mother Gaia, which is just that, a song for Earth showcasing my love for our beautiful and huge planet. This composition explores many different colors that mimic a transient mood and moment of daydreaming, while appreciating all the wonders and beauty of what I call this planet home. I really hope you enjoy my composition tonight. And again, I want to thank Ethan Sperry for having me, and for the Portland State University Chamber Choir for singing my composition, Song for Mother Gaia.
Good evening. Following the tragic loss of George Floyd this last summer, many of us, including myself, were left with the questions, what comes next? What can I do to create positive change? One of the many beautiful things that came out of the activism following this tragic loss was the pledge, Black Voices Matter. As conductors, we pledged to program non-idiomatic Black choral music, including music of pre-20th century composers, with reference to Marcus A. Garrett's research, Beyond Elijah Rock, Non-Idiomatic Choral Music of Black Composers. We came across the works of Samuel Coleridge Taylor. He was born in 1875 and was a late 19th century Black English composer, conductor, and political activist. At the age of 15, he was admitted to the Royal Academy of Music, where he studied composition with Charles Stanford. Unfortunately, he died of pneumonia in 1912 at the young age of 37. For tonight's concert, we are highlighting his piece, Summer is Gone, with text by Christina Rossetti. In this piece, he highlights the seasonal change from summer to winter, emphasizing the warmth and fragrance of summer and the chill and frosty nature of winter. As we worked through the piece, we saw it as a metaphor for the transitions we go through in life, particularly the final transition that we go through at the end of our life. As you listen, there are a few spots that I find particularly stunning. In each section of the piece, the sopranos get this gorgeous melodic material that begins in the major tonality, but incorporates chromaticism in the very next measure. This highlights the vibrant beauty of autumn without forgetting that this beauty marks the end of autumn and the end of yet another life cycle. Lastly, each section ends with descending chromaticism, like leaves falling from the trees. However, in the last section, instead of ending with this descent, the sopranos are given a leap up, a symbol of rebirth. The soprano line is left with the other parts holding on to the final chord, symbolizing how our memory will be carried on by our loved ones. I hope you enjoy Samuel Coleridge Taylor's Summer is Gone.
Hello, my name is Hannah Schacht, and I am a senior music ed major at Portland State. This year, I had the opportunity to conduct the piece Sweet Love Away with a small group of chamber choir members. The piece was written by Grammy Award-winning conductor Jason Harris, who is also the artistic director of Schola Cincinnati. The text of the piece comes from the set of works by the Irish poet James Joyce, and what I love most about this piece is how it really captures the feeling of just spending time with someone you love and just taking time out of your day-to-day life just to escape and be with your favorite person. And I think that Jason Harris captures that feeling very beautifully. So I hope you enjoy Sweet Love Away.
Hi, my name is Daphne Chibinga. I was born on the 31st of December 1998. I live in Lusaka, which is the capital city of Zambia. The person who wrote the text is Veronica Chikoko. She's a very good friend of mine. She was born on the 2nd of February 1998. I would like to talk about the piece that I wrote, Where Will I Find Help? I wrote that piece in 2017. There was a time that I needed spiritual help because my relationship with God wasn't fine. I explained everything to Veronica, and she said that all help that you need comes from the Lord. After months later, I wanted to preach how God helped me, and there's no better way through music. That's how I wrote the piece. Thank you.
Hello, I am Ramel Derrick, composer of Holy Child Born in Bethlehem. And I wrote Holy Child Born in Bethlehem as a response to all that I was seeing in the world and what I was experiencing in my own personal life, which was this overwhelming desire for rest and relief and the need to be rescued. And so I sat down to compose Holy Child, and the imagery of the Messiah coming quietly into the world to save the world, even though it didn't recognize him, began to permeate my thinking and influence my writing. And so I hope that in the current season that we find ourselves in, that this piece will be a source of comfort, but also inspire us as we look forward to the sure and certain dawning of a new season. Thank you for being a part of this concert.
Savior born in Bethlehem.
Hello, I'm Ramel Derrick, composer of Oh God, Be All My Love. And the inspiration for this short choral work was simply the text by St. John Cassian, who was a first century theologian and mystic. And I was struck by John Cassian's desire for a higher form of life and a higher form of living. And in this writing or this prayer, John Cassian is petitioning his Creator to help him, to guide him, to be all of his love, all of his striving. And in everything that he did, he wanted the presence of this higher power or this higher existence. And so that was my inspiration for this text. I hope that you enjoy it. And thank you so much for joining us on this concert.
Hey there, I'm Matthew Lyon Hazard, and I'm a Filipino-American composer from North Carolina. It is such a tremendous honor to be included on this program, so I'd like to thank Ethan Sperry and the Portland State University Chamber Choir for allowing me to represent my Filipino heritage and my biracial experience. It really means the world. Thank you. The Lamb is a text by English poet William Blake, and describes this very humble scene between a child and a lamb. It opens with just the simple question from this child: "Little lamb, who made thee? Do you know who made you?" And as the scene evolves, it just bubbles forth with this excitement of this wonder of like, the answer is incredible. We I, a child, and thou, a lamb, were named after our Creator, something greater than ourselves. Regardless of religion, regardless of faith, I think that there's something here that is just truly beautiful, which is this overwhelming gratitude and profound wonder for getting the opportunity to exist, of being thankful of the nature of our existence and how precious what we have before us really is. So as you listen to this piece, I hope you hear that childlike wonder, and I hope you hear that sense of gratitude for getting to be a part of something truly beyond any of us, any one of us. So thank you again, Ethan Sperry, Garrett Bond, and the Portland State University Chamber Choir for bringing this music to life. Thanks again.
Hello again. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's concert. We just have one song left, and before it played, I just wanted to make another ask. If you've been enjoying the concert tonight, I hope you'll consider making a donation, not to the choral program, but to the students in it. You can see the link here on your screen or at the social media platform that you're watching, and any money you give will go directly to scholarship funds for the students that you're seeing perform tonight, who have worked their best to create music in the most adverse of conditions. As we move towards hopefully a day with more racial and social equity in our country, this last text that you're going to hear has been really inspirational to me. It's by James Weldon Johnson, the same man who wrote the text for Lift Every Voice and Sing, the piece that is most often referred to as the African American national anthem. This piece is called My Heart Be Brave, and the last line of the poem is, "There is power in making for the right." I think for a lot of us, we're overwhelmed with just how many things need to be fixed in our society, and it's not going to happen quickly. It's going to take concerted effort over a serious period of time. But we need to acknowledge that there is power in making for the right, in heading in the right direction. Thank you for joining us tonight. You're going to hear from Marcus and enjoy our last selection for tonight, and we hope we'll see you tomorrow for part 2 of Still I Rise.
Hello. My name is Marcus L.A. Garrett, and I teach at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. It is indeed an honor and pleasure to have My Heart Be Brave performed for this concert. This piece was written at the request of Dr. Anthony Tressick King for his performances with Seraphic Fire. And Dr. Tressick King was doing a concert all about social justice, especially through music. So he asked me to find, hopefully, a text that would fit that theme. And I love the opportunity to be able to use poetry of Black poets. So I found this text, and the last line is really what sold me on it. There is power in making for the right. There's so many times where we don't really know exactly if what we're doing is okay. Sometimes we look at other people and see the amazing things that they're doing, and we wonder if our small contributions really matter. But they really do. Even when things get murky, when they get crazy, and we don't really understand everything that we're doing, we just have to keep remembering our goal and press towards that, whatever that goal is. So hopefully you enjoy this piece. Thank you.